Hi, what's going on, everybody? Stoner Van Houten here. It is December 6, 2024. What's going on? Today's video is going to be a review video of me reviewing and talking about the documentary that's out right now called Making Manson. Now, you're probably thinking, hey, Stoner, didn't you already do this with Michael? Yeah, me and Michael did a video together where he gives his opinion on the making of Manson, and I did too. This is just going to be more my opinion on making Manson, and just how actually I really feel about this documentary. Now, Billie Mintz, I believe is his name, is the director, and he's doing a lot of interviews right now all over the internet. So if you just type him in, Making Manson, Billie Mintz, and then you'll see. I played one of the videos on my show the other day. So he's giving a lot of interviews, obviously to promote it. Now, of course, everything that he says is going to be everything that Peacock wants him to say. So, because that's who signs his checks. Now, the first thing I want you guys to understand is that all these major outlets, whether it's Peacock, Hulu, whatever it is, whatever you're streaming on, they all want something to get people to subscribe to their channel. Now, they can't admit it, but they want, the scary, the strange, the weird, because that's what sells. If gumdrops and rainbows sold as good as Manson did, then they'd be doing documentaries on rainbows and gumdrops and, hey, look, flowers. But they're not, because no one's going to watch that shit. Not that those subjects aren't good, and there's nothing wrong with rainbows and gumdrops, but no one's going to watch that stuff. They want true crime. True crime is hot right now. It's been hot for a long time. Same thing with paranormal, but nobody really gives a shit about trying to find ghosts in a graveyard. All right, But anyway, so these streaming outlets, Peacock, they want something. They want Manson. They need their thing. Look at all the different shows that are coming out right now. You have the Menendez brothers. Then you have the Scott Peterson thing. You're going to have a Richard Ramirez documentary coming out. John Gacy documentary. Every outlet needs their true crime story. And who sells more than anybody? This guy right here. He does. Now, whether or not you want to believe it or not and think, oh, God, it happened 55 years ago. Why do you even give a shit about it? Why do people give a shit about fucking World War II? Why do people think about Genghis Khan? Why do people think about anybody from the past? Now, I will admit, Manson is Los Angeles history. He's not American history. He's Los Angeles history, California history, mainly Los Angeles. So if you live, in South Dakota, I can see why you wouldn't give a shit about it. But if you live in LA, hey, this is a big deal in LA. This is, next to the OJ trial, this is the biggest case that ever happened in LA. Anyway, so these people from Peacock, I can tell that whether or not they searched out John Michael Jones or John went to hint them, they were glad that somebody made the call. Whether it was John calling Peacock saying, hey, I have these tapes, would you like to make a documentary? And then Peacock going, oh my God, we just hit a gold mine. And then just playing it cool with John, just like, like they don't really want it, but hey, all right, yeah, what kind of documentary? They try to play it smooth, like, yeah, we're not that interested, but it sounds kind of good. We could work on something. But they know what they want. Now, in these interviews that Billie Mintz, the director, gives, he says that they're not trying to exonerate Manson. Bullshit. Okay, Billie, if you're watching, I call bullshit on this. Now, I understand you can't say that. Peacock, the executives would fire you. You can't show any sympathy, any support, anything that makes them think that you're on Manson's side. So that's where Peacock's coming from. They can't admit it. But, I know Linda Deutsch said, if you're trying to exonerate him, then I don't want a part of this. And then they're like, no, not at all. Hello, John Michael Jones and the tapes. That's exactly what John is trying to do. Come on, man. Come on. Now, look, Billie, I know you can't say that because, the last thing you need is your boss or whoever, your wife, the kids, your friends, your neighbors, anybody thinking you have any sympathy towards Manson. You can't have it. You'll end up being just exactly like Gypsy that was on the documentary. She says really good stuff about Manson. Then she says, horrible, evil, hippie cult leader, blah, blah, blah. And there's no such thing as hippie cult leader. He was never a cult leader, and he was never a serial killer. I don't know if you actually know what a serial killer really is. That's actually somebody who actually goes out and kills multiple people. Besides Shorty Shea, I don't know. I've never seen any physical evidence or anything that shows that Manson never killed anybody. Now, I know, well, after a couple of dead bodies there on the beach in Mexico. And look, I know George Stimson. I know everybody that's in the goddamn documentary. I know everybody that's in all these documentaries. And I've talked to them all. And they all said the same thing about Manson. Anybody who's ever been in contact with Manson, especially George Stimson, the one thing that kind of blows my mind about the documentary is, what does George think about this? George has actually visited Manson over 200 times, physically visited him. John Michael Jones has never visited him. But he's got all these hours of tapes. But so does Ben Gorenke, so does fucking Michael Channels of Back Porch Tapes. They all got phone calls from Manson. A lot of people got phone calls from Manson. A lot of people got letters too. You know, John wasn't his only friend. John isn't the only... They make it seem like John's the only one who did anything good for Manson, and that's bullshit. Because we know Mike and a lot of other people did too. And John never visited Manson. I mean, I guess if he's like your father, then you probably want to go visit your father. Well, you wait till he's dead, then make out with him in the coffin. So, look, this whole thing with Peacock and making Manson, Peacock got what they wanted. They got a guy named John Michael Jones who has some tapes. Nobody's heard him. Oh my God, everybody's so fascinated to hear Manson's voice. Now, people like me in our community that do this, and on my channel and stuff, I've been doing this for 13 years now, we've heard it all, man. Now, maybe not John's tapes. I've heard Mike's tapes, and Mike's got some other stuff on there. That same thing. You can make a second documentary just using Mike's tapes. And if Mike would have called up fucking Billie Mintz of Peacock, man, Billie would have got a hard on fucking knowing it was Mike. I'm sure John had a lot to say. Because look, I was even approached by the people of, I don't know if it was Billie Mintz himself or the producer or somebody else of this documentary. They called me and asked me to be in the documentary. And I said no. I said, no fucking way. First of all, number one is, not that I don't want to be in it. That's not that I don't want to be in it. I would have done it, but I know for a fact, if you tell the other people that I'm going to be involved with it, they won't want it, especially John or anybody else. And honestly, I'm not saying I would have done it. I'm just saying they contacted me because I get contacted all the time. It's funny how these producers work. They have like a list of people who they want to get in contact with. And if they don't answer, they don't answer, they don't answer, they don't answer, they don't answer. Shit. All right. Call Stoner Van Hound. Fuck. I didn't want it to come down to this, but give the son of a bitch a call. And you guys call. You always call. Now, look, I already had a feeling the project wasn't going to be anything exciting. First of all, people, there's nothing in this documentary that brings anything new to the table. Like I've said, the most fascinating thing I heard Manson talk about on the tapes, at least the parts of the tapes that they aired. Here's the thing that Peacock did, which is all fucked up. I'm sure there was a lot of good stuff on there. But did they put that in the documentary? No. No. You put the nice story in there about Manson at the Avalon Ballroom doing some acid. Okay, that's cool. I've actually read about that. It was cool to hear Manson. Okay, he took some acid. Okay. That has nothing to do with the case. Like, okay, people that are watching this video right now, you guys have all done some LSD, right? Oh no, you're all sober. I forgot you're all good Christian people who are sober. Good for you. Fucking liars. Anyway. I love how you guys all think you're perfect. Anyway, so listen. The documentary is cool because John Michael Jones has some Manson tapes, and it's cool to hear Manson's voice. That's about it. Did it bring any information to the table new? No. Did it do anything different? No. Is Manson, his final words with Rob Zombie, better than this? Of course it is, because that focuses on the case. This documentary is trying to exonerate Manson. As much as they will tell you they're not, they totally are. John is totally trying to exonerate Manson. See, it's kind of funny how John says he's not the fanboy in this, but in this documentary, he looks more like the fanboy than anybody. Because you have him on the side over here, the fanboy, and then you have, you know, with Diane Lake and Catherine Scher and Alan Rose and Greg Jacobson and Phil Kaufman, and you're playing them the tapes to see the reaction on their face, like, oh my God, look at Diane Lake's face. Oh, is that Manson's voice? He threatened to skin me alive. So that's what really all they want is some shock value. They're not trying to bring any... First of all, they're not trying to bring anything new as far as the case. John Michael Jones is totally trying to exonerate Manson. Peacock knows that they're trying to exonerate Manson. They can't... Billie Mintz can't admit that in any interview because it will make him look bad in front of his family, friends, and colleagues. And he probably will get fired from fucking Peacock. Nobody who ever does a documentary on Manson can show any kind of sympathy whatsoever. That's why a good documentary can't be made. Now, very, 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 very little was shown during Manson his final words. That's what makes it so good. It was a very little bit amount. Like I'm not gonna lie, the producers of that show cared about Manson just a little bit. That's why it's really good. In this one, I'm not really even sure what the point of the documentary really is. Is it just to watch the shock value of the people that they have up on the stage and playing Manson's voice for them, for all those people who I just announced? Is that really what? Because that's what it kind of seems like it's about. It kind of seems like we want to see the look on their faces as we play them as the tapes for these people. Also, it's about John Michael Jones trying to exonerate Manson and making him look like a good guy. Well, he's a regular guy. He's a regular Joe. You guys just know him from the Geraldo interviews and Tom Snyder and all the ones where he's dancing around, which all those interviews are bullshit. Just about I'd say more than half of the interviews that Manson gave while he was in prison were bullshit. Because when you have stupid fucking people that want to interview him and say stupid questions like, so why'd you kill those people? 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 And if that's the only stupid question you're going to ask Manson, then Manson's going to act stupid and give you what you want, dance around, this and that. See, he gives you what you want. He tells you he doesn't tell you what you want to hear because you want to hear about the murders. But all you ask is stupid questions. Why'd you murder those people? Why'd you murder those people? And then he didn't murder anybody. And he didn't have to do it except for Shorty Shea. He had something to do with Shorty Shea. The thing you have to remember, even if Manson was found innocent on the Tate LaBianca murders, he still would have been found guilty on the second trial with Shorty Shea. So he's going to get the electric chair anyway, or the gas chamber or whatever. So people think like, oh no, he has to be found guilty on Tate LaBianca, otherwise he's going to go free. No. People, have you guys even read the book Helter Skelter? See, I think a lot of you people who watch true crime, you think you know about the Manson case because you have a friend who read the book and told you about it. You watched one YouTube video. I don't need to read the book. I don't need to read this. I don't need to read George Simpson's book. I don't need to read Nicholas Schreck's book, Myth and Reality of an Outlaw Shaman. I don't need to read, Now is the Only Thing That's Real by Neil Sanders. No. I don't need to read George Simpson's Goodbye Helter Skelter. I don't need to do any of that stuff. I know about Manson. He's a serial killer, hippie cult leader. And if that's what you think, you're a fucking absolute idiot, just like everybody else. That means you've never done any research. You've never done any kind of research. You've never watched shit. You're just like all the others. Well, because you heard it once through a news article, or you heard it here or somewhere, and now you think you know about the case because, I watched it, 5 seconds on it's the anniversary of the killing, so I watched it, and they said on the news, they said he was a hippie cult leader, and the news must always be right. They never lie. So this documentary, it does try to exonerate Manson, and it doesn't do even a good job of that. It's cool to hear Manson's voice. He doesn't say anything new in it. There's nothing in here that's intriguing, that's going to make your jaw drop, where you go, wow, I just learned something new. Oh my God. So Billie Mintz, look, man, in all your interviews and everything, and I'm watching them. I watch them all. I try to, you did an hour here. Some of the podcasts that you go on are fucking stupid, and the host doesn't even know how to answer any questions, and they're stupid. Oh, they say the same stupid helter-skelter shit. But Billie, look, if you're Billie Mintz, by the way, if you think that Peacock wasn't doing this so they could get more subscribers, you're out of your mind, because that's true. I know you can't say it, because you can't say that because you'll get fired. But we all know what this is. So first of all, John got what he wanted, which was money, because that's the only thing John cares about is making money off Manson. Peacock got what they wanted. They got, likes and subscribers, just like a YouTube channel. Peacock's no different than a YouTube channel. And they got what they wanted. You can tell that everybody that is in the documentary, they look like they already had enough and have been tired of this, and they've done the documentary too many times. Like, really? Catherine Scher, Greg Jacobson, Phil Kaufman, Diane Lake, the same old people. Then you have to add some new people in. The Black Panther's historian, and some guy named Alan Rose, and then this other lady has nothing to do with anything, she's ex-FBI agent, because everybody in this case is dead. Think about fucking Jay Sebring's documentary that just came out, which is actually better than Making Manson. You want to see a good documentary? See the Jay Sebring documentary called Cutting to the Truth by Anthony DeMaria, Jay Sebring's nephew. That documentary is actually better than Making Manson. It's a great documentary. You can see it for free on YouTube. Yeah, you don't have to subscribe to anything to see the Jay Sebring documentary. Just go on YouTube, type in Jay Sebring Cutting to the Truth, and watch a very good documentary. So look, people, making Manson brings nothing new to the table. John, if you're watching, I know you are. I know you guys are. He's been watching for 13 years. It was cool to hear the tapes. John, it was great to hear the tapes. I know James Dawson, Manson's Archives, and you heard the tapes too. Great, man. It was great to hear the tapes, man. Peacock, I'm a little bit ashamed of you guys not putting the good stuff on there. I don't know if there was such good stuff on the tape, then why didn't fucking Peacock put it on there? Or are we going to get more episodes? But so far right now, Peacock is lying to you if they're telling you that they're not trying to exonerate Manson. They completely are. And I have no problem with that. But they do. But they're not going to admit it. But I'm going to tell you. So there you go. All these streaming outlets work the same. You know, they just tell you a lie, give you a lot of smoke. And I'm sure they con John out of something. And I know John thinks, I got the better deal and I got it written in ink and everything and copyright infringement and I've got all the tapes and John probably thinks he got a great deal. But I'm sure the executives over there at fucking Peacock got one over because that's what they do. All right. Stoner Van Houten here. Just doing a little review about the Billie Mintz directed documentary featuring John Michael Jones's tapes, which he's trying to exonerate Manson, called Making Manson on Peacock. Check it out if you haven't seen it. If you have Peacock, check it out. Don't get Peacock for this, unless you like Peacock and you want to get it for other stuff, but don't get Peacock just for the Manson thing. Ugh. Get it because you want to watch other stuff that they stream on there, all right? All right, Stoner Van Houten. There you go. Hope you enjoyed this video. Now we're going to play this song one more time, so that way it gets stuck in your fucking head. There you go. Hey, John Michael Jones, man, fucking send me a text, man. Billie Mintz, send me a text as well. I'd love to hear from you guys.
If you want some family